Welcome back, everybody. As I'm sure many of you guessed, today we're talking about an Olight flash sale that is going on, and I'm trying to get the video in before a thunderstorm rolls in. So there's a few different items that are all unique to this sale that will be going on, and I will roll in the photos with the discounts and the prices and all of that stuff as we talk about these items, and there will be a link down below to the sale in the video description. Yes, it is an affiliate link for folks wondering. Anyway, so there's 4 different items that are on sale. This one here is going to be the new Patriotic Edition finish on there to a light that we've reviewed many times before. It's sort of a tactical oriented light. It does come with a holster, for those wondering, has the tail cap rechargeable capability. Additionally, you could weapon mount it, and it has the raised area there around the back for a gas pedal type of switch. So that way you have the advantage of the magnetic recharging, but you also have a less likely chance of an accidental or negligent light discharge. So basically the tail cap, if you slow or lightly press rather, it's going to give you low, and then when you really get on the gas pedal, if you will, it's going to give you the high output. And you can also work the modes through the side switch as well, which gives you more options for different light settings, if you will. The clip on there is removable. It's also a 2-way clip, so you can carry it however you want. And again, like I said, it has the holster, and it is a 1-inch light body, so that way if you want to, you can weapon mount it as well. Like I said, it does have a tape switch capability. I do not recommend a tape switch for these lights, but some of you guys may like it. And like many of the Olights these days, it's got this massive 5,000 milliamp battery, which is going to give you a lot of output that you guys are going to see here in just a second when we do the beam comparison. So there is that one. Next one up that my audience is probably going to be interested in is this guy here. It's the PL-Pro Valkyrie, and this one has the recharging capability built into the bottom of it as well. Switch, just so you know, I should point this out because I get a lot of comments whenever I discuss this particular light. This light will ship to you in low mode. So check out your manual. It will tell you how to get it out of low mode and get it into the high mode. Now, I should mention it does have 2 modes. So for those of you guys who think weapon lights like this are just overpower and overkill for any type of home defense situation, number one, I disagree with you, but you have the right to be wrong. And it does give you the option to tone it down a little bit, but it is a very bright weapon light. And of course, that recharging capability is nice because you can keep the gun mounted up on your, or excuse me, the light mounted up on your gun and recharge it as needed. There's actually holsters nowadays as well, which are made to allow you to have access to charge it up, which is kind of cool. It comes with both a 1913 and Glock style insert, so you can swap them out if you want to, and it's a quick attachment point, and the interface on them is these toggles here on the back. Basically, you can press and hold for a constant on, and then if you want, or excuse me, for a momentary on, and then if you want a constant on, just tap it and it will give you constant on. Double click will give you strobe mode. So that is this little guy here. I have a bunch of videos on the channel of this light just in different colors. This time it is in gunmetal gray. Then we have this, I'm gonna call it a pastel green. I'm sure they have a different name for it, but it is the Olight Seeker 2 Pro. Again, this thing is a wall of light that you guys are going to see here in just a second. It also comes with a tail cap, recharge capability. It also comes with a wall mounting bracket, which you can put on there and have just kind of sitting in a workshop or something like that, which I do think is a pretty cool option. Interface is all done with this button here on the rear. It has basically 3 different reflectors all in one, and it's O-ring sealed. All of these are going to be O-ring sealed for water submersion, those sorts of things. And like we talked about earlier, it's got that big old 5,000 milliamp battery on there, giving you lots of power. And this one here, although it does have a wide beam, again, you guys are going to see it in a second, it still has a lot of candela as well. Then we have, lastly, this guy right here, which is the i5T light. And this one here is AA powered, which I know a lot of folks like. As you guys can see, again, we are O-ring sealed, AA battery, and has a 2-way clip. And unfortunately, from my opinion anyway, this one is a low-high interface. So when you initially turn it on, you're going to have low mode. And then when you double click it rather, that'll give you the high mode. I've mentioned this before, but Olight, I would like to see this one reversed, high, low. So if you come out with a fancy new color for the next flash sale, instead of this green, whatever the new one is, I would like to see the interface changed as well. But it's a very compact light, as you can imagine. The body's just a little bit wider than that AA battery. And definitely folks like it for EDC. And if you don't need it for quote unquote tactical EDC, the interface really isn't an issue. If it's just for daily tasks, those sorts of things, not really a problem. Regardless, what we're going to do next is check out the beam patterns and kind of get you guys an idea of the output that you're seeing from these lights. For those of you new to the channel, the spot there where the wood fence meets the iron fence is approximately 35 feet away. Those trees there in the background are about 40 to 50 depending on the actual tree. We're trying to get this video done before a gigantic thunderstorm comes in, so it's raining a little bit. Please forgive me for that. But the output that you guys are seeing right now is from the Seeker Pro on low. And we'll go through the modes real quick. Just press and hold the button. And that would be the medium mode, then the high mode. And then to get to turbo, we're just going to double click it. And it's a wall of light for sure. It does still have a hotspot at this particular distance. The hotspot's approximately 20 to 25 feet wide, but that's where all that candela is concentrated. But we do have a very good spill, as you guys can see. No real defined edge. I'm going to move the hotspot off camera right there, and you guys can see that there's still plenty of illumination out there in the direction the camera is facing, and the hotspot's completely off camera and then back in. So definitely a bright light without question. Now we have our Patriotic Edition light here on low and working through the modes. You guys can see it definitely has a more focused beam, more candela for sure. And there we go, back to low. And you guys can see the different modes. And then we're going to bump it up to turbo. And again, tons of candela. It's probably washing out a little bit on the camera. With your human eye, of course, you don't have that issue at all. You can see all of those lights all those trees back there, very brightly lit up. And you guys can see a very different beam pattern, and that was shown through the various modes using the side switch. Now, if we want to use the tail cap, basically this is what you get with a light press, and then when you press it, you get all the lumens and all the candela that you guys were just seeing through the other interface. So it is cool that you can work it either way. Here we have the output from the PL-Pro Valkyrie, and you guys can see it's got a pretty similar beam pattern than the one we were just looking at. Again, at this particular distance, you're probably looking at about maybe a 10-foot wide hotspot, and then we have some spill, but not a ton. It's definitely designed to focus that light pattern, as you guys can see. It also has a turbo mode, as you guys can see right there as well, by double clicking, and then you can come back on to what you guys just saw with a single press. Here we have the i5T on low, and obviously it's probably barely registering there on camera. You can see it a little bit from what I can see through the viewfinder, but it's designed on low especially to be an up close kind of light. But if we go ahead and put it on high, you guys can see that is the maximum output from that light. Very, very different than the other lights you guys were just looking at. This one is much smaller, much more compact, and doesn't quite have the power of the big boys, but of course it uses that common battery, which is one of the reasons it doesn't have that power for folks who don't know. Anyway, that's the beam pattern. That's really all I have for you for this video. Pretty simple video, just letting you know about the sale. A lot of these lights, like I already mentioned, have had rather full reviews on the channel, been dropped, been submerged. The earlier version of this light was in the bottom of this lake for 8 months, came out and was still working just fine. So these lights are pretty darn durable. And at this point, there's a ton of different reviews, not just quote unquote influencers like me, but real folks out there. If you guys check out like forums and stuff like that, Candle Power Forum, air15.com, AK Files, blah, blah, blah. You guys will see plenty of reviews on them, and generally speaking, they're pretty darn positive. So that certainly is a good thing. Again, there'll be a link down below in the video description. If you guys have any questions, you can post down below in the comments section. However, if you actually need an answer, the best place to reach me is over at my Facebook page. Despite being throttled like never before, as far as I know, I'm still seeing all of the messages over there. It just takes me a little bit of time to get back to folks because there's a few 100,000 of you and only one of me, but I do my best to get back to everybody and eventually do so. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.